Low self-esteem and a lack of confidence can negatively impact every single area of your life. If you lack confidence, you're unlikely to put yourself forward in your career and live up to your full potential. If you lack confidence, it's much easier for you to make poor choices in your relationships and even stay in relationships where you're being disrespected or abused. If you lack confidence, you're simply going to miss out on many opportunities because you really don't believe in yourself. You really don't believe that you have what it takes to make your goals and dreams a reality. So basically, you're selling yourself short in life. This is why developing a confident mindset should be your number one priority. But now I'm about to make a shocking statement. You're going to find this hard to believe, but it's true. You already have self-confidence. Yes, you heard me right. The truth is that you already possess perfect mental and emotional health. When you remove from your life, from your thoughts, from your mind, what is drawing your attention away from this truth and reality, you can experience that confidence that you innately possess. So what is preventing you from experiencing this innate wellness? It's your thinking. Now, to illustrate this point, I want you to think about an infant or a toddler and how they play. Babies just have a natural peace. A baby playing is just completely immersed in the present moment, looking around, touching things, experiencing life, enjoying themselves. A baby is not engaged in activities like comparing himself to other babies to see if he's inferior. A baby's not looking in the mirror and criticizing herself for physical flaws. Small children just have a natural resilience and an effortless ability to enjoy life without succumbing to endless negative internal chatter. Babies aren't plugged into negative thinking, but of course, they're not really plugged into much thinking at all, to be honest. Because over time, as a child, as you grew and matured, you learned to think. You were given the marvelous gift of thought. Learning to think and reason and come to conclusions is a wonderful blessing. So it's not thought that's the problem, it's the misuse of thought that creates anxiety. It is the misuse of the gift of thought that creates low self-esteem, lack of confidence. And you understand that if you have anxiety, you lack confidence. If you lack confidence, you're going to have anxiety. These two go hand in hand. Now, please don't misunderstand me. I am not blaming you for your anxiety. So if you have guilt and shame over struggling with anxiety, I recommend my video, Anxiety is Not Your Fault. As our brains develop, we adapt our thinking patterns based on our environments. So if you had an environment where you were affirmed, loved, encouraged, where you were safe, most of your thoughts about yourself are going to be positive. If you had an environment where you were criticized, ridiculed, bullied, most of your thoughts about yourself are going to be negative. So your current thinking patterns have everything to do with how your brain was programmed by your life. And let's face it, we are always exposed to our own thinking. So it's natural sometimes not to even realize where the problem lies. You can only feel as good as the quality of your thoughts will allow you. And you can't really do anything about something if you don't realize it's even a problem. But once you realize it's a problem, you need a solution that actually works. And you were taught to misuse the gift of thought. How you feel about yourself on a given day will directly correlate with the quality of thinking you are having about yourself on that day. Your thinking is not a representation of reality, but your thinking becomes your reality. So when you shift your thinking, your reality actually changes, your perceptions change, and your feelings about yourself change. But can you really change your thinking? I know you can. Because I was probably one of the most self-critical people on the face of the earth. As a matter of fact, as an adult, I once found a box in the attic that contained a diary I had written when I was in about 5th grade. It was genuinely one of the most saddest things that I had ever come across. Day after day, I filled page after page with all sorts of statements about how inadequate, ugly, inferior I was. And I continued to think that way well into adulthood until I learned to change the way I was thinking. And the thing is, none of those things I wrote were true. But the unfortunate thing is, when you believe something about yourself, it actually becomes your reality. So if I believe I'm ugly, I'm going to live that way. If I believe I'm stupid, I'm probably not going to perform well. If I believe I'm unlovable, probably not going to choose healthy relationships and find a good partner. Now, when I was a teenager, there was a show on television called Three's Company. I'm going to date myself here. But on that show, there was a blonde character named Chrissy, and she was always doing stupid things. For some reason, as a teenager, I could be quite a bit ditzy, and I ended up with the nickname Chrissy. I knew the kids at school thought I was dumb and airheaded. And because I was so young, I didn't realize that other people's opinions of me didn't need to become my reality. They did not define who I really was. So I really started to believe I was stupid. So what kind of grades do you think I got? When I thought about future careers, do you think I thought I could become a doctor or a lawyer or a therapist? Well, I got crappy grades because I believed I was stupid, ditzy, couldn't perform well. I didn't think I was smart enough to do a lot of jobs out there that required an advanced education. And even the teachers, some of them didn't really think I would make anything of myself. But here's the shocking thing. There's this one school psychologist, and he just saw something in me. And he told my dad, you should consider giving this kid an IQ test. Well, guess what? It turned out I actually had a very high IQ. Being made fun of on a regular basis at school for being stupid was actually not the reality. I was actually smarter than a lot of the kids at school. So what do you think happened when I realized the truth that I actually was smart? You probably guessed right. I started to do better in school, and I did end up going to college, and I graduated from my physical therapy program with a 4.0 grade average. But I'm absolutely positive that if I had continued with the false belief that I was stupid, I would never have achieved all that. I wouldn't have even dared to try. You see, I don't really believe in stupid people. I don't believe in ugly people. I don't believe in inferior people. Being different doesn't mean inferior. So it's time for you now to stop letting those negative voices from your past determine your self-worth and your confidence and your value. Those people that criticized you had minds that were filled with negative self-talk and false beliefs as well, and they made themselves feel better by tearing you down. You don't actually need the approval of anyone to feel good about yourself. When you change the beliefs you have about yourself, your feelings will change, your actions will change, and even your experiences will change. So I'm sure you understand that the reason you're struggling with lack of confidence has nothing to do with your actual worth and value, and everything to do with those things that happened to you in the past that made you think you were inferior. And now it's time to change that. Maybe you were a victim of bullying or child abuse or poverty, but you don't have to be a victim for the rest of your life. It's time for you to take responsibility for your thinking and build your confidence. You really can't change the past, but you can take responsibility now and change your future. So don't let the trauma that ruined your past continue to ruin your future. So I want to give you a challenge, an exercise that will help you break this habit of low self-esteem. And did you notice that I called it a habit? That's right. You have low self-esteem because you have innocently developed a habit of thinking poorly about yourself. So let's try something new. So every time you catch yourself thinking negatively about yourself, I want you to immediately stop and redirect your mind by participating in the following exercise. You might need to write this down at first, but after that, you're going to get pretty good at it. The minute you catch yourself thinking, saying something negative about yourself, I want you to come up with 10 things that are good about you, 10 things that you like about yourself. I want you to do this consistently every time. You're replacing that negative thought with 10 positive thoughts about yourself. I know what some of you are thinking. Tiffani, there's literally not 10 things I like about myself. Now, if that's the case, you know that you have really been caught up in your own negative thinking, and you're really failing to see your own innate goodness, the reality of who you are. So here's a simple exercise for those folks. I want you to just close your eyes for a minute, and you can do that now. You're not driving. And imagine yourself anywhere between the ages of 4 to 6. I want you to see that child in front of you, and that child is looking at you. You're looking at that child, taking that child's features. Yes, you just have this energy, this flow, this innate understanding between you and that child. And now here's a simple exercise that's going to help you out. I want you to ask yourself a question. Would you ever say to that child things you've been saying to yourself? Would you ever look at that child and think, you can't find anything good about it? Would you let anyone talk to that child the way you've been talking to yourself? And now, what good things can you say about that child? Now, if this is a struggle for you, you may even want to hang a picture of yourself as a small child in a place where you will frequently see it. And every day when you see that picture, I want you to speak to that child that developed that low self-esteem because of what happened in the past. Speak to that child the words of praise and encouragement that you know it needs to hear to feel good about itself. And very soon you'll find you can speak those words to yourself easily and effortlessly. Now, I hope this video has impacted your life and made you realize that developing confidence needs to be a top priority in your life, and you really can change the way you are thinking and speaking to yourself. Now, if you would like more help overcoming anxiety or building confidence into your life, please check out my other videos on this channel and make sure to subscribe. Feel free to share this video with another person who needs to be encouraged today. And I would love to hear from some of you in the comment section. So please tell me more about yourself and what you're struggling with. And if you need help increasing your confidence, visit my page at tiffanicappello.com, where you can learn more about the resources and services I offer to help you on your journey.